It all began with a single, almost invisible speck, a humble beginning for what was to come. A fleck of gray mold, seemingly insignificant, clinging stubbornly to a piece of damp bread. It was a microscopic world unto itself. To the naked eye, it appeared as nothing more than a minor imperfection, easily dismissed. But within that minute speck, it held the potential for immense change, a silent revolution waiting to erupt. This was not a plant seed bursting with the promise of verdant life, but a pioneer, an advanced scout from a kingdom far older, more resilient, and infinitely more mysterious. The fungi, a realm of decomposers, recyclers, and hidden networks. Our plan was deceptively simple, a controlled experiment, a miniature world under our gaze. We would introduce this unassuming mold into a carefully prepared, sealed world, and then patiently we would watch what unfolded, documenting every subtle shift and dramatic transformation. The jar, our self-contained ecosystem, sat on the windowsill, a pristine glass cylinder, a beacon catching the soft glow of the morning light, promising observation and discovery. Inside, a meticulously crafted miniature landscape waited, a stage set for an unseen drama. Lush moss, a verdant carpet, rich dark soil teeming with unseen life, and a few tiny insects, springtails and mites, scurrying about their miniature world, all blissfully oblivious to the profound shift about to occur, unaware of their impending fate. The moss formed a vibrant green carpet, a seemingly endless expanse for the tiny inhabitants, the insects, the unsuspecting first citizens of our carefully constructed glass kingdom. We often overlook the small things, the intricate details that shape our world, but this experiment promised to bring a hidden world into sharp focus, revealing the unseen forces at play. That tiny speck of mold, easily dismissed as a mere blemish, was not just an imperfection, it was a complex collection of spores, a tightly packed army waiting for the signal to mobilize, each spore a potential colonizer, ready to claim new territory and reshape the landscape. The stage was meticulously set, the jar, a silent theater, its glass walls offering a clear view into the unfolding drama. The moss and insects, the unsuspecting cast going about their daily routines in blissful ignorance, and the mold, the seemingly insignificant newcomer, the antagonist, or perhaps, in a twist of fate, the protagonist, patiently waiting in the wings, ready to take center stage. We were about to play creator, intervening in the natural order, introducing a potent force of nature into a carefully balanced, closed system, a microcosm of the world outside. What dramatic changes would occur when this patient, yet relentless organism, this master of adaptation, was given a new home, a sealed and isolated environment, free from external interference? The answer, the key to understanding this hidden world, lay dormant in that seemingly insignificant tiny gray speck, its intricate story about to unfold, one microscopic thread, one hyphae at a time, weaving a tapestry of change. The anticipation was almost palpable, a mixture of excitement and trepidation, a glimpse into a forbidden realm, a hidden world about to be dramatically revealed. We were ready to watch, to meticulously document, to learn from the unseen, and to witness a silent conquest, a slow and steady transformation. The experiment began, the seal was set, and the world inside the jar, that miniature ecosystem, would never ever be the same. Before the invasion, the jar was a picture of tranquility, a carefully constructed, self-sustaining ecosystem. Pebbles for drainage, charcoal for filtration, and a layer of rich, damp soil formed the foundation. Mosses of different varieties created a lush green landscape, while a gnarled twig served as the centerpiece. The inhabitants, a pillbug and a colony of springtails, nature's cleanup crew, vanished into the undergrowth. For a week, this sealed world thrived. Condensation cycled on the glass, the pillbug patrolled, and the moss grew greener. The air inside was fresh, the balance perfect, a miniature planet in harmony. But this peace was fragile, destined to be shattered. The ecosystem was stable, but change was coming. The inhabitants were unaware, but we knew. The mold would soon arrive. The stage was set for a dramatic transformation. The world in glass was about to face its greatest test. Introducing the mold was a deliberate act, a single clump of the common black bread mold. Using sterile tweezers, we placed the mold onto the twig, choosing a spot rich in nutrients. It looked harmless, a tiny gray smudge against the wood. But the moment it touched the twig, the experiment truly began. We sealed the jar, isolating the ecosystem completely. The inhabitants were now trapped with their new guest. The pillbug paused, antennae twitching. Did it sense the change? We felt a mix of curiosity and guilt. We had introduced a silent predator. The mold was a ticking time bomb, ready to transform everything. From this single point, a new kingdom would rise. The invasion had begun and there was no turning back. The fate of the jar was sealed. For the first day, nothing seemed to happen on the surface. The terrarium sat quietly, a miniature world sealed off from our own. It was a period of observation, a silent vigil as we waited for the first signs of change within our carefully constructed ecosystem. The jar looked unchanged to the naked eye. The glass remained clear, offering an unobstructed view into the tiny landscape within. But even in its apparent stillness, unseen processes were already underway. The moss stayed green, vibrant, and full of life. It was a reassuring sign, a testament to the initial health of the ecosystem. The lush green carpet provided a stark contrast to the subtle drama unfolding elsewhere. The pillbug patrolled, diligently performing its duties as a decomposer. It scoured the substrate, seeking out decaying matter and playing its crucial role in the cycle of life and death. And the condensation cycle continued, a miniature rainforest playing out within the confines of the glass. Water evaporated, condensed, and dripped back down, sustaining the delicate balance of moisture. But beneath the surface, unseen by the casual observer, a silent war had begun. The spores were awakening. Dormant for who knows how long, they sensed the change in environment and began to stir. On the second day, the gray smudge on the twig expanded, a subtle but undeniable sign of fungal activity. It was a small blemish at first, easily overlooked, but it held the promise of significant change, forming a network of tiny hair-like hyphae, reaching out like microscopic roots. These delicate filaments were the vanguard of the fungal invasion, exploring the surrounding territory. The mold was alive, spreading outwards, probing for nutrients, seeking sustenance to fuel its growth. It was a relentless, unwavering advance, driven by the primal urge to consume and multiply. By the end of day 2, growth accelerated, the pace quickened, the change became more visible. The mold was no longer a subtle presence. It was a force to be reckoned with. A fuzzy, cotton-like mass enveloped the twig, a visual testament to the mold's burgeoning dominance. The once bare branch was now cloaked in a soft, white shroud. The air inside the jar changed, the atmosphere subtly altered by the metabolic processes of the growing fungus. A musty odor replacing the fresh scent of moss, a clear indication of the shift in the ecosystem's chemistry. The air itself was becoming a battleground. The pillbug avoided the twig, instinctively recognizing the danger posed by the encroaching mold. It sought refuge in safer corners of the terrarium. The springtails remained hidden, retreating into the depths of the moss, seeking shelter from the changing conditions. The fungus was asserting its presence, visually and chemically, transforming the environment to suit its own needs. The first 48 hours marked a quiet but decisive victory for the mold, a turning point in the life of the terrarium. The transformation had begun, subtle but unstoppable, a slow-motion takeover playing out before our eyes. The balance was shifting, and the mold was gaining ground, steadily eroding the established order of the ecosystem. The ecosystem's fate was now in the hands of the fungus, its future determined by the success or failure of this microscopic invader. On the third day, a remarkable transformation began to unfold within the jar. The mold, previously a subtle presence, stirred to life with newfound vigor. White mycelium, like a delicate network of threads, spread rapidly, giving rise to black sporangiophores that reached towards the light. These tiny structures were the harbingers of a new phase in the mold's life cycle. Tiny stalks topped with sporangia, each a miniature vessel holding thousands upon thousands of spores, the seeds of future generations. The mold transformed from a simple patch of fuzz into a complex, three-dimensional landscape, a testament to its relentless growth and adaptation. It was as if an alien world was being sculpted within the confines of the glass. The jar, once a vibrant green, now bore the stark contrast of a region of black and white, a visual representation of the mold's colonization and dominance. A miniature, alien forest, teeming with unseen activity and driven by forces beyond our immediate comprehension. Through the magnifying glass, the details were astonishing, revealing a level of complexity and intricacy that was both mesmerizing and slightly unsettling. Black spheres glistening, swollen with potential, ready to burst and release their precious cargo into the surrounding environment. The fungus was an engine of replication, a biological machine designed to spread its genetic material far and wide, ensuring its survival and propagation. We watched, mesmerized, our curiosity piqued by this miniature drama unfolding before our eyes. As the stalks grew taller, reaching for the air, positioning the spores for optimal dispersal, carried by the slightest breeze, the eerie beauty of the mold was captivating, a testament to the unexpected artistry that can be found in the natural world. A life form following ancient rules, honed over millennia of evolution, a survivor in a constantly changing world. It constructed intricate structures without a brain, a feat of biological engineering driven by instinct and the inherent properties of its cells. Driven by simple imperatives, to grow, to reproduce, and to spread its influence. The whispering bloom was relentless, a constant, unwavering force of nature at work within the confines of the jar, a quiet explosion of life, a testament to the power and resilience of the natural world. The jar was no longer a terrarium, a contained ecosystem, but something altogether different, but a fungal kingdom, a world ruled by mycelium and spores. This was its first magnificent city, a testament to its ability to thrive and create in even the most limited of environments. The transformation was both beautiful and unsettling, a reminder of the power and mystery that lies hidden within the microscopic world. The mold was performing a vital role: decomposition. Fungi are nature's recyclers, breaking down dead matter and releasing nutrients. The mold released enzymes, digesting the twig and absorbing the resulting molecules. Without decomposers, the world would be buried under dead plants and animals. The mold in our jar was not just an invader, it was a liberator, unlocking energy and matter. Its life cycle was efficient: spore, hypha, mycelium, then reproduction. In our sealed jar, this cycle unfolded before our eyes. Destruction was, in reality, transformation. The mold broke down the wood, turning death into the building blocks for new life. In nature, nothing is wasted. Every ending is a new beginning. The jar became a stage for this universal truth. The great decomposer had claimed its throne. As the mold flourished, its impact on the jar's other inhabitants became clear. The moss, once vibrant, began to yellow and brown as the mold crept over it. The fungus blocked sunlight and released chemicals toxic to the plants. The air grew musty, oxygen levels dropped, and the environment changed. The pillbug became sluggish, retreating from the advancing mold. Its food source was monopolized by the fungus. The springtails likely met a similar fate, their world invaded. The ecosystem was now under fungal dominion. The condensation thickened, the light dimmed, the balance was lost. The decomposer had become the dominant life form, ruling a dying kingdom. It was a powerful lesson in how a single organism can overwhelm an entire system. By week's end, the transformation was complete. The lush green landscape was gone, replaced by a blanket of gray and white mold. Black-headed sporangiophores stood dense, a testament to the fungus's success. The moss was reduced to brown patches, the air hazy with spores. The pillbug had vanished, likely overcome by the hostile environment. The jar was now a monoculture, a world of fungus. The mold had consumed the dead, killed the living, and remade the air and soil. There were no heroes or villains, only competition for survival. The jar was no longer an ecosystem, but a fungal empire. The efficiency and power of the mold were undeniable. It had remade a world in its own image, a quiet alien kingdom in a bottle. The lesson was stark unchecked: a single organism can transform an entire world. Now, a profound silence fills the jar. The mold has consumed nearly all nutrients, entering a phase of waiting. Millions of spores lie dormant, patient for the next opportunity. The environment is stable, but it's the stability of a tomb. Oxygen is low, carbon dioxide high. Only the fungus and perhaps some bacteria persist. The dynamic cycle of life has ceased. Only the decomposer remains. What happens next? Will the mold die off, or will spores wait for a new beginning? The jar is a time capsule of collapse and takeover. The spores hold the potential for rebirth if conditions ever change. We can only watch and wonder at the silent power of the unseen.